guys are good. Gucci. Episode 16 of the Kickback. Welcome again. If you are here for the first time, thank you for joining us. I go by the name of snkrINC. Usually we would have a guest in the seat to my left, but tonight it's just the boys kicking back, talking sneakers. So Dano is filling in that spot. Not even filling in, he would rather sit there in that throne.
This is way better. Yeah.
He feels a lot more comfortable in that position. Dano, thank you for being here, as always.
Always.
And to his left, in his usual seat, no musical chairs for him. You know him as John Colombo.
What's up, guys?
John, you just had a big weekend, player. You was in Portland for Sneaker Week, huh?
I was in Portland for Sneaker Week.
Tell us a little bit about that. How'd that go down?
It was dope, man. So 2 weeks ago, I was in Portland and went out there and just met everyone that mattered, it seemed.
Who put the whole event on?
So the dudes that put the event on were this cat, Isai, who I believe worked at Nike and Jordan brand, and now he's kind of on the marketing side. Ian Williams, who owns Dead Stock Coffee, and Herb, who works at Pencil, and a couple other dudes that basically like.
It's like a collaborative thing for the city.
And Terrence as well. And so like basically kind of like by the community for the community in a sense. So they took it out of the hands of any, corporate scenario, but they did get a little bit of sponsorship, it seemed, from some of the local corporate stuff, but local corporate stuff there is Nike, Adidas,
yeah, exactly.
Under
That's
Armour,
the
shit
hub.
like that. So,
Wait, all three were involved? Is that what you're saying?
Under Armour, I don't know if they were involved.
No, all three.
But Nike and Adidas were involved.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
I was like, oh shit.
They were involved together though, but like for different events. So like one event would be like an Adidas thing, one would be a Nike thing.
Right.
Sure.
But what was really dope about it was that it was free for people to come to. It's a week-long event. It's still going on right now. So like, people got to go and work on some customs with Cam's Customs, and then which was at the Wacom space, like the tablets. And so people were like in there sketching and drawing shit out and cutting and sewing, and it was really dope. Like just that little portion. They had a little launch event. Like the fact that you could go and there was like food and beverage and music and customizing and amazing speakers and all this dope shit, and it was like free. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that to me, like that, and their whole thing, I was like, damn, really for free? It was like, yeah, like
to the
it's
public,
for the community,
everybody.
like it's for the heads, like the people that came and like donated their time was to come out there and do it. So like,
was this the first time they did that?
Yeah, this is first ever.
Shit, okay.
So they have Barbito, they have Clark Kent, like people, like some hitters came out, and I got to go out there and do, on behalf of snkrINC, the first ever Kick Flicks, which we premiered 3 episodes of The Come Up, which is our animated series that we're about to launch. And that was fucking awesome, man.
Was it a good response?
Yeah, it was like an overwhelmingly positive response. Like just being in the room and seeing everyone like laughing at all the right parts. And it just like, I was like, all right, yeah, we got something. Like it felt great.
Sick,
and then I did like a 2-hour long discussion with the crowd and kind of with a little bit of Q&A, and then just kind of really just doing like a deep dive into culture and
was it just with like consumers, or were there like big names from the brands there, or like
there was people from Nike there, there was people from Pencil there, there was kind of people from around there, but then there were also people that traveled in from like Tennessee or Arizona or wherever. So like people did come from around.
And they're still out there now, like
and
you
they're
said.
still out there right now.
Was it based around just entertainment, like having a good time, or was there like
it was
objective?
It was kind of skewed towards design, a little bit. Like it felt to me that way, but that's because Pencil Academy took like a kind of a big stance there as far as like helping to put it together. But it's dope because it's people who are not just like sneakerheads and collectors and consumers, but people also like want to have some sort of a career in footwear in the future. And it was a way for them to kind of navigate those waters a little bit and also network, because they kind of did like your introduction into the industry and then some design workshops and colors and materials workshop. Like they had like a bunch of cool stuff going on that people could participate in.
Right. What was the age range, like if you had to guess, like the age range of people that went there?
I would say kind of like mid-20s vibe. Like there were some younger kids, and then there were, but it was crazy. I met these 2 younger kids, these 2 twins, and they had like crazy knowledge.
Yeah.
Like old head vintage knowledge, like way back, like like they study, like the shit.
Straight
like
up. Yeah, that's the only way they would
study the
actually
shit.
know some shit like that.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, they got something here. Like, these
Damn,
kids,
that's
How old were they?
shit, they couldn't have been more than 17, 16 probably.
I love that it was like by the community, for the community
Hell
too,
yeah.
because that's like taking it. We always talk about that, like taking it back in our hands instead of having these brands like try and facilitate all these experiences and all that, and only so many people can be involved. Like it sounded like it was something where
What they
everybody
think we
was
want.
included.
Everyone was invited.
Yeah, what they think
Yeah.
we want, you know.
Yeah, it was really dope. Like to see people just go out of their way to like put it on.
Mm-hmm.
And they did some podcasts while we were there. We got some snkrINC shout outs on the podcast. Alex Wang was on there. The guys from Index, which is kind of like the only consignment resale shop there. Like Compound is another store there, but yeah, but they're like, this is like their resale consignment shop where they have like all the heat chilling.
Index PDX, right?
Index PDX, yeah. So those guys were there and they did that, and then I think tomorrow they have Bobito, and then another night they have Clark Kent on the show, and they start to do a little
OG
launch with
heads,
that. There was
huh?
some cool stuff going on though, and like anybody could come. Like even when they did the podcast, like as many people that wanted to come and like be like audience and watch it happen live, like could come.
Sick.
So
Yeah,
it was-
yeah.
it
Just
was
open
really
door
dope.
policy for everything. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what else played at the Kicks Flicks? Was it just? It wasn't just.
It was just us. It was a
It was
Oh, no
just
shit.
snkrINC night.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right, that's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
We're hearing this for the first time. He just got back in tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just flew. He literally flew in to LAX and
And
then
came
came
straight
here
in.
right after the flight. So we're
Yeah.
still just trying to catch up.
Yeah.
I know you saw some exclusives though, huh?
I saw some things.
I saw some things.
I saw some things.
We might have to talk offline when it comes
I
to that.
don't
stuff.
know that I can talk about it.
Okay. I'm not. You know
I think
what?
he enjoys having this.
I know
knowledge.
he wants to keep it all to
trust
himself.
me. I would
I
love
don't
to
know.
break some shit here right now. I just don't think that it would be proper for me to do so.
We want you to be able to go back. So
Yeah,
we're not
right,
gonna pull too many
absolutely.
teeth.
Yeah.
We want to
Don't-
be invited next year when it's bigger.
Don't
and
burn
better,
any bridges.
so. Nah, that's dope.
Yeah,
Damon,
but
how
Portland
was
is
the-
sick, man. We need to go up there collectively and go stomp.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's it was really good vibes, like everyone there, and just like the response from everyone afterwards too.
Mhm.
Kids coming up, like people were like overwhelmed in a sense, like to even come and talk afterwards about how much they enjoyed like the conversation that we had in the room, and
Nice.
it was just really good. Like it felt good, positive vibes around.
Yeah, it felt like snkrINC had a good presence.
For sure.
That's all we care about,
That's
man.
dope.
Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
really, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was
Dano, what'd you get into this weekend, man? You cop anything?
Yeah, I got those flying it. No, it was the weekend before.
No,
But
was it?
they was
The flying at
That was right
once?
when I left.
yeah the flying at once, but that was the weekend before, and then they got shipped.
Oh, they got you.
So I
received
got
them.
them.
Yeah, you got them through
I
sneakers,
did get
right?
these this weekend. Yeah, I got them through
Why
sneakers.
the hell did it take so long to get here?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I like them though. People are hating on them, but I think they're great looking.
What you got in the box, player? For
What's
those
in
that
the
are-
box?
What's in the bags for those that are listening and can't see?
The Latino Heritage Month, right? Is it
I don't know if it was a month. What was, we
The
talked about it
collection,
last.
Latino Heritage Collection.
Go back to episode 15, Quinceañera episode, and listen to
These
that.
these are Los Primeros Air Max ones.
Hell yeah.
They are pretty dope.
Those
Yeah,
are, they
they're
actually
dope.
are lit. Because this is the pack that they're dropping like one a week for the next like 3 or 4 weeks
Yeah,
or some
yeah,
shit
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
I ran into that Swoosh Life at Nike's.
That
Nike
Swoosh
Town.
Life.
Hey, Kickback
Yeah.
alumni.
GP.
Yeah, he recognized me from the podcast. He was
Nice.
working. I was like just busy shopping. He was like, "Yo, what up?" Yeah.
That's sick.
He gave me the whole rundown of when those are releasing.
Oh,
So
the
like,
rest
like
of
you
the,
said, yeah, it's incrementally over
Uh-huh.
the next month.
Dope.
Yeah, they're dope.
Hell yeah. Well, let's get into these topics. You know, when we have a guest, we don't really get to go in depth with the topics like we would like to. So now we got the whole episode to really go in. So I just went through just this past couple of days just to see like what some of the most relevant topics were. And if you are only listening to this on Dash Radio, make sure that you tune into the visual component at snkrINC.com where we can show you the kicks that we have in the box and also the things that we will be displaying on our screen. But the first thing I want to get into, which is actually pretty relevant with all these natural disasters and things that we have going on right now, Nike has created a new material called FlyLeather, which uses 90% less water than traditional leather. It's 40% lighter, and it has an 80% less carbon footprint. So to give you a little rundown, Nike FlyLeather is a new super material made with at least 50% recycled natural fibers and water power. During a typical leather manufacturing process, up to 30% of a cow's hide is discarded and usually ends up in a landfill. Nike takes these discarded leather straps and turns them into fibers. Then those recycled leather fibers are combined with synthetic fibers and a fabric infrastructure via a hydro process with a force that is so strong it fuses everything into one material. The material then goes through a finishing process, which can include things like pigmentation, and is completed by being put on a roll to cut. It's quite the fucking process.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Bill Nye.
We have the technology. I think this is, I think it's dope, and I think it's about time that they came with this, because if we go back and just even in this episode or this series of episodes that we've done and just our general conversations as sneakerheads, our #1 complaint with Nike and Jordan Brand has been the quality of leather that they're using. And I think just from looking at photos that I saw on the site, they have, they've got like 5 that are coming out to start. They've got Jordan 1, Air Max 90, Cortez Tennis Classic, and an Air Force One, all of which use like the classic safari print on the leather. So it's not actually like the colorway that we would be used to, but you know, like the little dots.
I saw
and
the texture on
the texture,
leather.
yeah.
So
I think they do that because it helps what that actually looks like. I haven't seen what it actually like.
Yeah, so they actually did one
pure?
Tennis Classic without that. It was just
So it
all
looks
white,
clean?
and it looks
Okay.
beautiful.
Okay.
Like
I
they
hear
really
FlyLeather.
Do you have
I hear,
that, Jay?
I think Flyknit, like a leather Flyknit.
Well, yeah, I mean,
That's
yeah,
what I
that's what
imagine.
Yeah.
goes into your mind. But they did, I guess, you know,
Or I just hear
fly is
Fleather,
there.
which is fake leather.
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 Leather. Yeah, so these are the colorway, or excuse me, the silhouettes that they're dropping initially with the texture, you know,
At
leather
first,
and
I
all
thought
that.
the texture was just like how it
That's how it
looked.
was gonna look. I
You
did
know what I
too
mean?
until I
Yeah.
read into it, and I was like, oh, okay, now I get it. But if you look at the toe, and like I said, there was a classic that was just
Yeah, it
all,
had a clean pin on
all
the
leather.
Jordan.
It looks beautiful. And
Yeah, we're not close enough.
it's
though.
hard enough. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't really, you know, they can put all these words and all these processes and things together and, you know,
Yeah.
like, make us feel a certain way. But until we actually
They
get
put
them in
fly
hand
in
and
the
like,
word.
right, and see how they like crease when you walk and all that and how they hold up, you
Big
won't
time.
really be able to tell. But
What's
What's
a great
it smell
texture?
like? What's it smell like?
it's probably gonna smell like normal leather. It's got
real leather
bits,
in it.
It's got real bits of leather,
Yeah.
so you know it's good.
I mean, shit, they got to be better than those fucking. What were they? The 3s that I got. The what was that?
Cyber
Sport
Monday?
Blue.
The sport.
Oh, my
yeah.
god.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
see,
is
and that,
those
literally
cracked
the
in
worst
half.
material ever. That is ply leather.
it's straight, yeah, it's straight up
Straight
fucking plastic. Do you
Yeah.
think this, you know, do you think this is their, obviously they want to lower the carbon footprint and try and reverse some of the things that we have done to the earth with, you know, using actual animal
Sure,
products and
yeah.
all that. But do you think this might be like their answer to the demands of the consumer with wanting better materials and better quality?
I don't think so.
No?
I'm all for like sustainability and like progressing and doing new things, but like part of having a luxury shoe is having fucking nice materials on it, nice leather that you can.
But we don't
touch
know yet. This
and you
might be
enjoy.
like,
Well, you know,
the
it's not
future
all
of leather.
leather. You
I
know
mean,
that
for
it's
real.
recycled, and it's like, what is this compound that is leather
Yeah.
on my foot now?
let's call it what it is, fly
Fly
leather.
leather.
We
Fly
can't call it
leather.
leather until we have it
Yeah,
on foot and it crumbles.
Yeah, it looks
But-
like moon.
Yeah, moon cheese.
Moon cheese. Yeah.
Well, the texture aside, look at the middle panel and
And I'm
the
a
swoosh
Safari fan. I'm a
and
Safari
Is
fan.
the
I know,
middle
it is a
panel
little
and the
weird
swoosh
having-
also?
Yeah, the whole upper.
The
is-
Yeah,
whole
that's
upper
gotta
is
be
the whole,
all-
not just those
all
panels.
recycled.
Yeah,
So that's just an added texture.
yeah,
like
that's just a
that
safari
deboss
print
or
because they
whatever.
know like
Okay.
it's classic Nike.
Got it.
But the whole upper is that fly leather.
I'm
that
probably
they're
with it because it probably, I would imagine, if they're putting all this into it and they're telling us the compound and the whole thing,
Right.
it's probably pretty dope.
I would think so. And like I said, the whole article I read on Nike was saying how it is up to par with their premium leather that they put on like some of the fours and things like that. And it's obviously to be determined. But I definitely, I'm backing it. Like I just from looking at it, it looks like it would be solid and withstand, you know, the test of time. But it's hard to say until you actually
It is
have them on
literally
foot.
impossible to say.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
Because like it does look great to me, especially when you told me that the rest of the panels are all fly leather. But
You wanted to say leather?
Leather, he
leather,
definitely
yeah.
did.
But that's the thing is too, is like, you know, we see, images of like good tumbled, pebbled leather, and we start looking at it, we're like, oh, like that's gotta feel good. But then like they can fake that too, like kind of like those sport blues. Like it has that from a photo, looks like nice tumbled leather, and then you touch it and it's plastic.
Yeah, I think that's where all these complaints, I mean, not the source of where all these complaints come from, but you buy shit from a photo online and you get it and you're like, this is not at all what I thought it was.
Right, you might see a few on-foot looks like a few days before the drop, but that's literally them standing still, not actually like wearing the shoe and seeing how it, it
But that only happens now because you can get anything you want online wherever you are.
If only there was a media brand that made sneaker porn where they just really go in with a macro lens and show the deep textures under different sources of light so you can kind of get an idea.
If only.
You call it sneaker porn? Is that what you said?
Yeah. I said if only somebody did that.
Sneaker porn.
That's a novel idea.
Do you guys think that other brands, and obviously the big one who literally just took over, Adidas will follow suit with something like this? Because obviously Adidas did when Nike came out with FlyLeather, Adidas came out with PrimeKnit not too long after. You think other brands are going to start
future craft shit now, and they're definitely on. They've become more innovative than they used to be. Right. Like Nike's innovation, like all the way, they had the heritage like Adidas and stuff. So like now they're finally like putting more towards development. Yeah. Which is cool.
Yeah, I love it. I love seeing that.
Did we talk about this? I came back with some information as far as like we've talked about this in the past where that Nike had passed on the Boost technology, and we all looked at that like it was the stupidest decision they could have made and that kind of shit because they killed it with Boost.
Right, they're killing it.
But the information that I came back with, and stop me if I've already said this on the show, but they passed on it because like this was direct from people at Nike that they passed on it because it didn't hold up to performance standards for Nike.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you said it on the show, but I do remember talking about that.
It's like great for running straight. Like they're looking at literally like a running shoe, not just like something.
I feel like they were looking
cool and
for
comfortable,
more like
but
cross
actually
training
has to perform,
too.
Like try making a turn in that, and
try
doing
easy.
a lateral move.
I finally have some Boost now, so I can finally talk about it.
Right.
The cushion is out of control. Like there's no denying that the cushion is far better. And it's not like I've been trying to do some crazy maneuvers in these shoes, but I can tell there's not the support. Just is definitely lacking in the two shoes that I have that have Boost. Yeah. That's it.
It's funny you say that too. I mean, I'm not disagreeing at all. Like if I don't have these tied up, these things are they're like socks. It is what it is.
Really comfortable socks.
Straight up, yeah. They are very comfortable socks, and the cushion is undeniable. But I've been running the Vapor Max a lot lately, and I've never felt like I was going to roll my ankle more in a shoe than the Vapor Max.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
I put those on this last weekend. I got those IDs.
Oh, the IDs from the
I put those on just when I was running around the house, just like I haven't worn these in a while. Like threw them on, and definitely like multiple times like like
so it's like myself. If they're thinking that
right
if they're thinking something like that and then they put out a Vapor Max, they put a lot of money behind in a big campaign,
huge campaign,
it's just like, well, you fucked up. Like don't just try and like backpedal and say, well, it didn't pass our performance test. It may not have, but keep it funky, like, y'all fucked up.
All right. Yeah, no, that makes total sense.
But no, I think you're absolutely right. I do think that we'll start to see more big brands and even the smaller brands maybe start to be more environmentally conscious and come up with something like this, or more 3D print, like you mentioned, Futurecraft with Adidas.
There's definitely going to be a lot more in that.
Yeah, I think that's more of the direction that, if I had to guess, that the brands are going to start going towards.
But I think you could probably wrap all those statistics and letters and all that into a dollar sign.
Of course.
As well?
1,000%.
I'm going to say that that probably equals, let's just say like all of that equals cheaper than leather.
Yeah, how much does a ream of this leather cost versus like this?
Right. Instead of you guys dumping that leather scrap out that you're just going to put in the landfill, just take that free of charge.
Mash it up a little bit.
Mash it up with some synthetic materials. Spray some water so hard on it that it's got to go together. It's got to conglomerate. Or is that the word?
Yeah, it sounds
consolidate.
Sounds like they're making Pringles.
It's one of the,
it sounds like they're making Pringles, not leather at all.
How you make Pringles?
Using scraps of potatoes and then this crazy process of combining it with other starches.
How do you know that?
I don't know, just stuff.
You like Pringles, don't you?
Yeah, I do like Pringles.
No, you're absolutely right. I definitely think that is going to be a whole other process, or excuse me, a whole other side of it.
As we know, if something's even a penny cheaper, a fraction of a penny
yes, as we know
cheaper,
now.
then
we got that
that will
inside
be
scoop.
the decision maker.
It's got to be bigger than a fraction, I would think.
No, I mean this, but
whole numbers maybe.
yeah,
Whole
entire
cents. Well, it's funny. This is a perfect segue because it was just reported. What's today? Tuesday. So yesterday, I'm actually going to skip down because I really want to talk about this.
What are you talking about? It's Friday.
Adidas. This is going up on Friday. We shooting this on Tuesday. Don't even worry about what we doing over here. We got big plans. Our good friend Matt Powell.
Oh, Matty.
Footwear analyst of the NPD Group reported in a series of tweets that Adidas has overtaken.
I fucking love that we put a picture of him.
Every
Oh
time.
man, I love it.
This guy, man.
He looks like that turtle from SpongeBob. See, our audience agrees.
Oh, he totally did.
There's like a little Mr. Magoo vibe in there too.
He's a little Magooey.
Yeah.
A little Magooey. No, but yeah, so our favorite footwear analyst, Matt Powell, reported in a series of tweets that Adidas has overtaken Jordan brand as the #2 brand in U.S. sport footwear. Adidas sport footwear sales grew more than half for the month, and the share grew by nearly half to 13%. He's still singing the same old tune that Kanye and influencers have nothing to do with the growth.
Matt Powell.
Here's Matt Powell. Damn, hate. This is where I disagree, and I will stand by this firmly. In 2014, when Kanye announced that he was leaving Nike for Adidas, Adidas became cool again. When you have somebody like Kanye who's got, Jack, our producer Jack is just on the money. Excuse me, I ain't trying to stunt, man, but the Yeezy just jumped over the jump, man. Now, he left Nike for Adidas in 2014. The first Yeezy, I believe, was 750, debuted in 2015. And Adidas just took off. Now, they rode that wave. Granted, this is not all thanks to Kanye. He is a very strong catalyst in the growth of the brand, in my opinion. The Kanye effect has always been real. You know, when he was very first photographed in Ultra Boost, people that didn't even know what Ultra Boosts were started fucking with just the Boost technology in general. He was wearing the Energy Boost. People were buying those up. And it's like blasphemy for him to say that Kanye has no effect on
Well, he's just looking at those numbers.
Of course. Yeah. Anybody can look at numbers and say, like, okay, the superstar is the reason that Adidas is doing this, or, you know, the Stan Smith. But it's like, in order for people to even have that on their radar, somebody like Kanye West had to go over to Adidas and make it cool again and make it relevant in
It's not.
the
We're
culture.
not saying that he made the Stan Smith or the Superstar cool.
Not at all.
He just brought it back on the map a little bit, and not by wearing them, just by bringing Adidas.
Just by bringing attention to Adidas,
just waving from
because
Adidas'
they've always kind of been trailing Nike, just even from way back when, you know, when the first, like, what was the first financial crisis and all that, when I believe it was Adidas like cut all their marketing team, and Nike decided not to do that, and that's when they really kind of took off with the lead. And Adidas has been trying to play catch up until now. Now, granted, they haven't beat Nike. Nike is still #1 in U.S. sport footwear. They just overtook Jordan brand, but
for sportswear.
For U.S. sport in U.S. only. I don't know if it's globally, but U.S. sport footwear
Which makes perfect sense in terms of like utilitarian sport shoes. Like no one's buying Jordans to ball in.
Exactly. And that's and the way that the way that the shoes are made now, and I'm not even talking about quality, I'm just talking about the bulkiness of a shoe. Like, you can't really wear the shoes the way you used to. Like, all of our clothes have slimmed down. Our style's a lot more, you know, simplistic for the most part. I don't think a lot of people are really on that wave anymore.
What do you think about Ye making a basketball shoe?
I feel like because he's Kanye, it would still do numbers. And I say that because remember when we very first saw the Wave Runner 300, we were like, what is this? Like the memes came
Did
flooding
somebody
in.
play in the 750s?
Oh yeah, Nick Young.
Yeah, there you
Swaggy
go,
P.
Swaggy P.
I think he blew the soul out on his Cool Gray 11.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I don't think it happened to them.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just think. Do you think the Kanye effect is still a thing? Because I was reading some tweets earlier today, just kind of scrolling through, and I don't remember who it was that tweeted it, but they were saying that Kanye West could leave Adidas right now and the brand will still flourish. But I do think that he does have some influence, and not only him. Like if we look at some of the ad campaigns they've been doing, where 21 Savage, they got Thugger, they got Kendall Jenner, like they've got all these big names, which I don't know if that's moving the needle or not. With the way that the superstar is, like I see a lot more, and we touched on this before when we had the episode with Nelson. You see a lot more like 15 to 20-year-old ladies wearing superstars than you do any other.
And now you're gonna see a lot more wearing Reeboks because of Ariana Grande.
Yeah. So do you think that the influencers are making?
Jack just put Matt
Every
Powell's
time
face
you put
up
that
here.
face, man, I can't.
Can we zoom all the way in on that nose, that mouth? Where is his lips?
He ain't got no lips, man. We've been over this.
Yeah, his mouth ate him.
All this yapping, no lips.
Oh man, do y'all think the influencers are doing numbers for the brand, or is it all just the brand is doing
particular
it for itself
ones, not all of them.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
How so?
definitely.
Like, who do you think?
I
is
think
really moving the
Ariana
needle?
Grande is a great call for Reebok. I think that Ray Simmerd was a good call for Reebok. Like that age bracket and their styles and stuff, but it actually fits.
Puma just
It doesn't
put,
seem like off for them to
Selena
be on
Gomez.
Reebok.
Selena Gomez for Puma
Yeah,
just
exactly.
now.
Puma's been killing it.
And
too.
Selena
yeah.
Gomez has
Yeah.
she has the #1 Instagram account.
I think
Yeah.
she's got the most followers on Instagram.
Is it over 200 million?
It's something ridiculous.
It's
I'm not
something
sure.
ridiculous
It's
like
crazy.
There's not even that many people in the world. No, I'm kidding.
How many followers does Selena Gomez have on Instagram? Jack, can we check that?
Siri?
I do remember that. Yeah.
What was the photo? Her butt? Yeah.
She's got 127 million followers on Instagram. Jesus Christ. I can't even imagine. Now
Talking about AMs.
That's funny that you actually bring those two women up, because one of the things I wanted to touch on, which is perfect right now, is the lady influencers that all these brands are swooping up. I feel like they're doing more for these brands than artists and athletes. You know what I mean? Obviously, like she's an artist, so I'm not discrediting her craft, but you see like a lot more people, like Amber Rose. She's got a shoe with Reebok that's coming out. Gigi Hadid is signed to Reebok. So
I think they're finally giving attention back to.
Yeah, but this is
The
also
female
look. They have crazy numbers,
right,
and that's because they have crazy followings. And these are also people that spend money, right? So like their demographic purchases.
No, totally.
You know what I mean? And if it's not them purchasing, it's their parents purchasing for them.
That's really what it is.
But it's like that demo purchases. Like,
but their demographic is Gen Z. And that's what I think that a lot of these brands are trying to tap into. Not even trying to, are tapping into now, because they are the consumers, or they're telling their parents that this is what's cool, this is what's hot, this is the influence that they need to have. And I think it's like a shift in marketing a little bit, whereas like before we would look to these athletes as the status, the symbol of like success and fame, and I want to be like Mike.
Well, that's
like
Nike.
Whole
That's been
campaigns.
Nike's thing for so long.
Right.
They put so much, they invest so much into individuals instead of it being like, and all of them have been athletes. Except for Kanye. Kanye was the first one that was a non-athlete to get a signature shoe.
And the thing about Nike too that we've noticed, and Kanye touched on it when we had his time with Nike, is that they don't really invest in anybody that isn't an athlete. Like Kanye didn't really get to do the things he wanted to do because he was just an artist. And they're like, oh, we'll give you this shoe, and then it's done. You're not gonna have
the
any
lifestyle
other,
always just came freely.
Right.
Because it was just part of the game.
They wanted to be a part of it, and Nike knew that, so they took full advantage of it.
So the other brands are doing a better job of getting like social influencers, not athletes. Like
I agree. And Ariana Grande, so her deal, she signed a year-long deal with Reebok, and Puma signed Selena Gomez for ongoing series of projects that will allow her to design product and help direct future campaigns. So it sounds like Selena Gomez has more of a like intertwined contract with Puma where she's actually going to be a developer and an ambassador and like actually have a lot more say in it. Whereas I think I think, man, these I can't.
Ariana Gomez.
Ariana Gomez. Where I think Ariana Grande is going to be more of just like, you're a face, you wear our product, you get your, your followers to
your
get
house
on
is going to be
board
filled with Reeboks.
Pretty
You're
much,
encouraged to wear them.
And
she makes me want to go buy a
slide
Reebok.
Mac Miller a few, and he'll wear it. You know, they get 2 for 1. Like, no, but do you think that is like the way to go now? More of like, especially the way social media is kind of like,
it's a no-brainer.
Changing the game,
especially when they have the following.
I think it's musicians over everything.
Yeah,
in a way, and that's
maybe
I'm biased because I come from the music world.
Right.
But it's like that kind of dictates so much, man. Mm-hmm. Like, not everyone watches sports.
Right.
But pretty much everyone listens to music.
Well, there's a lot more style involved.
There's a lot more style involved, right? We're talking about art in comparison to, sports. Mm-hmm. And they both touch like the fashion vertical.
Absolutely.
But this is crazy. I mean, people lose their minds. Like, people are very culty and crazy in, sports and athletics and all that. But like, when it comes to,
it's a different level.
It's a whole other level. Like, a whole other level. Like, people will be, you don't see anybody in the front row at the basketball game crying.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you do see that at a concert all day long.
Yep.
And those fans are just absolutely insane. It's like going in that music direction as far as influences is concerned, I think is a super smart decision on behalf of the brands.
People cry at football games all the time, though.
What's that?
So people cry at football games.
Wait, when it's over and they lose?
Yeah, there's way more passionate about it. Way more passionate about it.
But I personally, I'm not as much of a believer in the social media influencer.
Like the micro influencers
or whatever? Like, it is great for bringing attention and brand awareness.
Yep.
But when it comes to like purchase power, I don't know how much I want to be like that person. Mm-hmm. As much as that person impacts me and their style and their fashion. And I'm not saying me personally, but like, me as in all of us. I just don't think
I think you got a point with that.
You know what I mean? Like, it puts it on, and it brings brand awareness. It's like a commercial.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to want it because there was a commercial.
Yeah, how much of that awareness is going to equate to
They're doing it because there's reach.
Spent. Right.
Like, you see one of these dudes, eating a Taco Bell late night box or something. It's like, and they're like, hashtag ad, and it's like, it doesn't matter that that's what it is. It's basically a way for them to just make a commercial and get in front of a bunch of people, whether they did it on TV or they did it through this person's, their personal network. You also got to
think, too, there are a lot of impressionable people. Like, I think us as a collective, we kind of have our heads on. We can see through the bullshit, but I feel like there's probably a lot of people that do get affected by this, and I'm not talking bad about anybody. I'm just saying, like, people that are scrolling through their feed and may not have access to the things that we do, because we do live in Los Angeles. We do know a lot of people within different industries, and we have the means or we have ways to get in contact with stuff. But think about people in the middle of the map or just, elsewhere that doesn't really have.
And also we have like intent to make sure that we're not being bullshitted.
Right.
Like, where it's part of our like core. We're like not getting fucked.
You know who gets me though? Upscale Vandal gets me. Like, and it's like low key hate on my behalf, and it almost makes me like want the shit. Like, I don't know if it's like a internally competitive thing. Like, I see it, like, I'll post shit and I'm like, damn, that shit is dope. And I'm just like, or like, why is he at the Nike influencer space getting everything? I wish I was there. I wish I was that dope where I was in it. Like, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that are just sitting there like, damn, he's living the life. Like, and it's cool, like, to see it in that respect. And like, shout out to Mike, but like that, I will see him post some shit sometimes and be like, oh, that shit is kind of dope.
But see,
like,
what
he
you
gets
just
me
said
sometimes,
too, though, like, think about
maybe
the
that's
people
because
that
I dig his style.
Yeah, and
you know
just think about the people that don't never will probably have a chance to step foot in any of those events, and they see somebody wearing something, or they see, an unboxing or something, and they want to feel connected. And I think that's where a lot of these influencers come in, because when kids can acquire something that their favorite celebrity has or their favorite influencer, quote unquote, they almost feel like empowered a little bit. Like they have something that to them might like represent being of a certain status or being a part of a certain culture or something. Like, I just try and think of it from both ways too. To like, think of why, because they are putting so much money into these influencers, man.
And shout out to all the brands that are sending shit to Mike because they're doing a good job. Like he posts everything that he gets.
Yeah.
And to
And
me,
it's not in a way of like,
No.
nana nana boo boo,
Nah,
stick your head
no,
and do
not
the,
at all.
like,
Not
it's
at
just
all.
like,
It's like
No, you live vicariously through his.
Yeah.
for sure. You know,
Yeah.
like he does a great job of continuing to post and big up the brands that are supportive to him, which is dope. You know, there are millions of boxes that go out that just end up like, oh yeah, so and so sent some shit. Y'all, you know, have your way with it, and the entourage just you know,
exactly.
whacks it up
Ransack that
and
shit.
it is what it is because it's not a box full of YSL.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it
right.
just becomes whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially in streetwear, so many boxes.
yeah, it just
it's
comes
out
in by
there.
the
It just
truckload.
Nobody's posting all their, you know, look at this dope box from the hundreds or the whoever. Like
Right.
not nobody, but it's just not as much.
Yeah,
You know
Not
what
as
I mean?
prevalent.
Yeah.
for sure. Man, all right, we are on a roll, man. I like the way this shit
going.
is flowing. This is dope. We don't really get through these topics like this, man. I'm happy.
No, I'm comfortable with that.
I know, because you're on that chair.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable too. I get this
Yeah.
whole big, I ain't got to cock my head to the right to try and
We can't
listen
have
to
any hand
the
romance
shit.
tonight.
Next week, baby.
See you, boo.
Did y'all get a chance? I'm sure you didn't, because we had a conversation offline about this, and I know that, you know, some people aren't too fond of the boy Macklemore. But did you happen to
Yeah,
get
I'm
a
not a
chance to
fan.
watch his Closets, was it the Complex Closets episode?
I didn't watch it because it was Macklemore.
I knew it.
I
Did you
like
get
Macklemore
it?
because he makes great music videos. I don't know about the rest of
That's
the body
true.
of his work,
Give you that.
but
Hey, and
Entertaining
you are
music
in that
videos.
world.
I'm in that
Yeah,
world.
I
man.
can see.
appreciate it.
I can see John's angle.
Well, I did get a chance to check it out. I thoroughly enjoyed it, honestly. I don't have any problems with Macklemore. He's a fine young white lad to me. But he, Joe the Puma stopped by his Seattle residence, and they took a look at some of his heat, some never before seen shoes, and just a few different things. But Mac specifically pulled out a pair of Jordan 6s from the sample process of his Seahawk Green 6 that he had. And instantly, Joe was like, oh, those are the Gatorade 6s, right? And he was like, no. Jack, we got a clip just so you can kind of get more in depth.
It's gonna be exactly
of,
what
like-
you just said.
I mean, he goes a little bit more in depth, but. And we have no audio.
Yeah, can you do? Are you going to do that here?
Oh, we gotta get the TV.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
You might have to use the Apple. Nope, you got it. That shit wasn't working last week.
We talked about the friends and family 6s, but you said there's something in here that reveal it.
Yes, absolutely.
Buffering.
I got a couple things.
Okay.
Actually, let's start with these.
Gatorades, right?
No, I think the majority of the Gatorades are the Gatorades. These are not the Gatorades. These are my shoe.
Shits are hard.
It's a sample. And,
Right.
You know, Gatorade came in a couple years later and designed a very similar shoe.
Interesting.
I'm not going to say anything,
They're
but
fresh.
Because you can't
they are very, very similar.
Literally.
enjoy it.
How do you feel about that? You know, I saw my life.
Fucking Joe, smiling so hard.
Heart broke. Gatorade. I don't know if you was a beverage. Ever drinking that again?
Yeah.
You know, it's all good, man. But yeah, these are fire.
Definitely.
And shout out to Gatorade.
Awesome.
So that's got to be heartbreaking, though. Like to think of the sample process, and like you said, he can't say anything. It's not like he's got any type of clout at JB or anything like that.
He
was
does have
lucky
some
enough.
clout because he got to do that shit.
Well,
but you can't. It's
He
not
has
like. Yeah.
He has no ownership.
Yeah,
over
yeah,
it.
over a
no
design
ownership
like
over that
that.
design or that
Yeah.
colorway or anything. You think this happens a lot though? Like people
Sure.
come in and make colorways and Jordan Brand's
Absolutely.
like, oh,
You gotta imagine
okay,
that happens
this-
all the time.
We'll slide this over here. We'll make a story to that, or you know, because I think about how many, obviously different colorways Jordan Brand's coming out with now and trying to recreate all these, or not recreate, but retell all these stories or find new angles, like the Flight Jacket 6s that are coming out from his time hosting SNL and the jacket he wore and all that. Do you think that this is something that's going to continue? I can't look at his face and not like. And not just crack up.
I feel like he's our guest.
watching us right now. He's like, what y'all gonna say?
It's awesome.
But you think this is sort of like accidental marketing? Where it's like they saw
this?
that, yeah, they saw that and like, oh, we could flip that to like the OG Gatorade logo and
I like the Gatorade thing. I'm not a big
What do you mean?
I'm not a big Jordan buyer right now in terms of sixes for sure, but I like the whole Gatorade story. You know what I mean? Of like, oh, here's what the colors are inspired by.
right, but that's
Feel like
like it
Jordan
was an
fans.
accident. I don't think that they would have done.
You think they just saw this and were like, oh, we can have this be? a
What was
It's
his-
literally the exact same.
What
yeah,
was
Yeah, those were. Remember that right there.
what was
from that
his
Wahlburgers.
inspiration for
right.
it?
He said Seahawks earlier, right?
Yeah, well, he's got the all green sixes, and then he's got a six that's similar. It's
So
not
it's
an
a-
orange, but it's
So
like
Macklemore made a Florida Gators.
basically.
This is
basically.
totally. Does it have the orange back here? Because it says exactly the same.
It's go back to that other photo, Jack, real quick of him holding the shoe. I'm pretty sure the only difference is the lace tag on the other ones was not orange. No, it's
It
the
is.
exact same.
Dude, they look exactly the same.
That's fucked up.
They are. They literally took
Yeah, go
that
to
sample.
Back tab's orange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go back to. I wasn't looking at those that you just showed. I feel like I saw one that had the lace lock that wasn't orange. I think it was green. But either way, regardless,
They changed nothing.
they just literally took that sample and were like, well, all right. But that's the thing, though. You were like, I like that whole story of Gatorade and all that.
As we
I
talk
don't-
about, story is so important.
But I don't think that this would have ever even come to fruition had that sample not been a thing. And like Jack pulled up that photo of Mark Wahlberg, that was the
Yeah.
first time we ever saw those.
Right.
And that was when the whole like Gatorade, oh, these are the Gatorade sixes, these are gonna pop off, whatever. But it wasn't until now we got the real story with that episode. Yeah. Or no, you can't see the tag, the lace lock on that photo. But regardless, I don't know. I don't think that Jordan Brand is getting as creative as they should, because obviously they're pumping out all these colorways, they're pumping out all these numbers of single silhouettes, but it isn't, in my opinion, it isn't really moving the needle. It's not doing numbers. Like, they're doing numbers because they're flooding the market with so many shoes, but those shoes are still sitting on shelves and hitting outlets. Like, they're not
more
really,
and more. I see them sitting there.
every release. And it's, I think the last big release, and correct me if I'm wrong, that really flew was the Space Jam 11s with the 45 on the back. That was the most that they did in
Yeah, didn't they do a
2016.
big restock of those
Yeah.
afterwards?
I think-
some bullshit like that.
I don't remember the numbers. I want to say it was like 300,000 or something of that shoe that they
A
made.
lot.
And it's like,
Of pairs.
that's fucking crazy.
Oh
But
yeah, they destroyed in sales.
the
you're talking-
sales
yeah,
at the
they
last
destroyed.
quarter of 2016 was when they really took off, and that was the shoe that sold the most that year. But that's because it's a Space Jam 11. I feel like it doesn't matter when you put out a Space Jam 11.
Yeah,
It's
we were
going
out
to-
shopping the other day, and I was like, "There's something about these. I just want a fresh pair." You know what I mean? 'Cause they're
Well,
so-
Space Jams? Or
yeah, we just saw them, and I was like, "God, there's something about it."
Right.
Because when did those come out? 2 years ago? A year and a half? Last year.
Last year.
Christmas.
Yeah.
That seems like it was so much longer ago.
Yeah, it was 2016.
Yikes.
Because they put the 45 on the back.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the kicker for me.
And
is
it was the 20th
embroidered-
anniversary. That's right. Yeah. So they had that whole. Because I remember they did the big box that had like Michael's secret sauce,
Yeah.
the squirt gun, and all that shit, a squirt bottle. But I just don't think that Jordan Brand can continue putting out numbers with these stories that they're creating now and try and do the same thing.
It has
it's
to be
just-
less releases. Period. You got to.
It's oversaturated.
Yeah, you got to stop with this
Yeah.
and keep it simple.
Yo, the homie fucked up that box.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
is
dude.
happening? Yo, what? What? My man's tried to fold them joints in half.
Oh my
What-
God! Yeah, the.
I know. That's what I'm
plastic on the
saying. Like
inside.
all of.
What am I looking at?
That's the one. That's the one you pulled up, Jack.
100% real.
Yeah, this is authentic.
Yeah.
Very near dead stock.
Yeah. Very near to stuff.
VNDS. Oh man, and this one is a good topic for you, John, because you actually have a pair of the OG Roc-a-Fella Air Force Ones.
Oh, that I do.
That I do. So originally released 2000.
Kinda.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, not released.
They weren't.
Yeah.
Excuse me. They weren't released. They were produced in the year 2000. Nike paid tribute to Roc-a-Fella Records and the crew's signature footwear of rocking crispy uptowns, as they call them in New York, with their own variation of the Air Force One that incorporated their logo embroidered on the heel and the tongue tab. 17 years later, the shoe will be making a return that is reportedly launching during Complex Con in November to celebrate the 35th anniversary of the Air Force One. This is a big deal for two reasons. Like we just touched on, it didn't release to the public originally. A few people got their hands on some sample pairs, and one of those few people is John Colombo, go figure. And Complex Con is happening, second annual Complex Con is happening in Long Beach in November. Fuck. Out of all the releases that they could have chosen, because Air Force Ones have released in a plethora of colorways and collaborations and
More than any other shoe, right?
more than any other shoe, they chose this one.
I have so many things to say about this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sound off, please.
So for one, the pair that I have are the pair from Blueprint 2, which is the same silhouette, except the only thing that's different, there's a couple little differences, but it has a clear kind of greenish outsole, and that's not just from discoloration. There is some discoloration, but it already was. It had like a hint of
A
green
little tint
in
to it.
Yeah. The outsole, and it's clear, and it says Blueprint 2, Jay-Z on the outsole, and then the insole has it as well, sample, all that, and that's the only difference aesthetically. But that was made in 2002, and that's what it says on the sample tags that I have.
Okay.
That album dropped in 2003, so this was kind of like a preemptive.
It was
We're gonna
made
gear this
for,
up
yeah,
and make a
promo.
very small batch for Jay. They're all made in Jay's size, which is 10.5, which is my size. Still can't believe Jay wears a 10.5.
Dude, he's tall, right?
He's super tall.
Yeah, I think he's like 6'2", something.
Yeah. So Jay also signed the Reebok deal in 2003. So there was an overlap there where these were supposed to be on his feet when he toured with that, but instead it was the S dots.
Right.
So these 48 pairs that were made got whacked up in the Nike office, and somehow I ended up with one.
Gotcha.
But looking at this, super premium looking. Again, I can't touch it, but we can kind of tell.
You can imagine, yeah.
that
No, it looks nicer.
Definitely, it
Yeah.
looks
It
like
looks nice.
leather on the sock liner.
It's like a buttery tumble
yeah.
leather for sure.
Am I seeing that? Does that look like leather going into
It
the
does
liner?
kind of look like leather.
Right?
Yeah, I guess so.
So
Now that you
also
pointed
that would
out.
be a difference, which is really dope.
Enhance.
Enhance.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Yeah, it's very hard to
I
tell
don't
from
know,
the photo
but
we're looking at. But
Anyway, that pebbled leather looks really nice.
The top of the tongue looks like mesh or
So
cotton.
bringing back the Roc-a-Fella Air Force One, which Roc-a-Fella doesn't exist anymore, it became
Right. Yeah.
Roc Nation, right? After
Right.
Jay and Dane broke up. Our good friend Adrian Vargas is the one that designed this Roc-a-Fella logo.
Yeah, he
Yep.
posted about it the other day. 'cause
All
he
those
couldn't
years
deny
ago.
This was in his feed.
Oh yeah,
He's
no
like
shit.
seeing this shit pop up again.
It's crazy. Yeah. So shout out to Adrian. But
Yes.
I'm curious who this is for.
right.
So we have a couple youngsters in our studio audience tonight, and I just want to know, pick your head up, man. I'm talking to you. do you give a shit about this? No. Both of
Exactly.
you too? No. Don't care.
Yeah.
Okay, so
They don't remember the heyday of Roc-a-Fella.
they don't know, and that's the whole thing. So like, there's crazy meaning behind this, and
But it's not for the younger.
and that's nothing that's
generation.
wrong. There's nothing wrong with them
Right.
not knowing and not caring.
And kids don't wear Air Force Ones for the most
Also,
part.
Air
anyway.
Force One is,
Yeah.
it's not what it used to be, right? So, and they're trying, right now we're in the 35th anniversary year of Air Force One.
Yeah.
35.
Right.
So, I mean, look, they
Respect
picked
has
an
to be
interesting
given.
one to put out.
That
because
was my whole thing. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, what is the significance behind the Roc-a-Fella release?
Yeah,
Right.
because the Air Force makes sense.
Is there going to be a Roc-a-Fella reunion tour?
See that, and that was one of my questions. Was like, all right, is this kind of like a subliminal for like some type of like reunion or maybe even a tape or a song or something with all like Memphis Bleak, Benny Siegel, like all the fucking like Roc-a-Fella heads that we remember from the early 2000s. Like, could this be something that they might be trying to hint at? Or I was actually looking at the Complex Con website. Now on night 2, DJ Khaled is.
Or maybe Jay-Z and Nelly are about to put out a record.
Damn it.
Shit.
DJ Khaled is performing at Complex Con on day 2, but right under his name says secret guest listed on Complex Con for day 2. Now, could this mean like there's a possible Jigga? Right? Like, you never know. Is this like, could we get a possible performance from Jay, or is this just like a fucking coincidence? Where
I wouldn't doubt. Maybe he'll pull like a Nicki during Drake's set thing at Coachella, where he'll just walk out on stage.
What if he came
give
out?
A wave, and then,
that's what I'm saying. Like, what if he came out and did "I Got the Keys," and then like, that's your special guest. Like, then Roc-a-Fella fucking shit makes sense. Like, it just. I would understand if they did like.
And then the Complex Con tickets will be $300 next year.
Oh, easy. They gotta pay for these artists.
We had a discussion in the office this week about these prices, right? Or was it last week?
Yeah, it was this week. It was yesterday.
Yeah, it was like what? It was.
It was right now.
Yeah, we had a conversation about an hour ago.
It was literally yesterday.
About these ticket prices, and like the difference from last year to this year is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just because they're getting all these artists to.
I think that's the 100%
show up so they can
what
just
it
charge
is.
for this. So that is super plausible.
Yeah, it would have been dope to see, because last year they did Antisocial Social Club.
Yeah.
Which it was literally a white on white Air Force One with Antisocial Social Club stamped on the back.
Right.
Like, it was not hype about it, but them shits went crazy. It would have been dope if they did the paper plane for Roc Nation instead of bringing back the Roc-a-Fella, in my opinion, because that's more relevant. It makes more sense.
I just want to know why.
But
Right.
maybe that's what's coming.
You think so?
Could be.
The why is coming.
The Y is coming, but maybe
No, the Roc Nation.
But maybe there's a Roc Nation coming. Now, if that was youngsters in the audience, now if that was a Roc Nation paper plane,
They don't know about no damn Roc Nation.
would you care about that? You know what that is? Don't know about that either.
No. He's listening to Issa. He ain't listening to 444.
It's a plane.
It's a plane. We already heard from Lonzo Ball. They don't.
You're
Nas
supposed
is
to know about
washed.
this shit.
And Jay-Z.
If I know about your shit, you should know about my shit.
Hey.
Can we pull,
see?
Jack, can you pull that picture up?
Moms is from the culture, player. You better you better learn you something. No, but to that point, like, they don't care. But is this? I don't know. I feel like this is more for the old heads. They got to do something.
Well, that's what I mean. This is for the old heads, right?
Yeah.
Like, who else is it
But
for?
how many old heads are gonna be at Complex Con? Is
But
my
what do
thing,
you
too.
think's gonna happen? What do you think it's gonna?
Oh, I know what's gonna happen. People are gonna buy these that don't give a fuck
Don't
and
give a
flip them
fuck.
for quadruple the price.
Everyone his
online.
age is gonna be out there waiting in line, buying
Exactly.
sizes that ain't theirs.
Yep, because they
trying
all
to
wear
scoop all
size
this
like
shit up.
9, and they're gonna be buying 14s, and I can't get a pair.
Right.
Shout out to all the pair.
Shout out to the pair.
Yeah, I just don't think it makes any sense, but I obviously don't work in Nike. I don't make these calls. Somebody up top has a reason for doing this, and they
I
haven't
better get
shared
my
it with
pair.
us.
That's what I'm saying.
You already got a pair.
What?
man.
No, I don't have that. And that I could wear that and feel good about it.
Feel good about it. Feel good about myself.
Now, I found out about this drop before it was announced.
Mm-hmm.
And if the pair that I had, if it wasn't the Blueprint 2 ones, if it was those ones, I would have sold them. I would have sold them right before they announced it.
Oh, I get
Absolutely.
If
Yeah,
I had that
100%.
pair and I found out
Yeah.
2 weeks early that this was happening,
How many pairs do you think?
I would have got rid of them in a heartbeat.
Right.
How many pairs do you think?
If I had to guess, honestly, like 250.
That was exactly the number I wanted to
Really?
say.
Straight up. Like, I
No,
don't
it's
think
like
that they're
250.
really doing anything
It
big
needs
for
to
this.
be
Like,
that small
Yeah.
if you're gonna do this.
Because it's only going to be a Complex Con.
Yeah, like don't ruin them.
Right,
completely.
exactly. 'Cause
Like have your moment at Complex Con, and if you're gonna do some sort of, event with it, like
That would make more
Could
sense.
be legendary.
Exactly. For real. It would be, and I actually just saw, like, if Jay-Z made an appearance at Complex Con, that would be, like, it would make sense to pay for those ticket prices.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously we don't know that. We're just going off of fucking hopes and dreams. But the ticket prices for this year are fucking outrageous.
It's going to be Biebs.
Nah, he's too busy hanging out with Pastor,
Yeah.
what's
Hanging
his
out with
face?
God.
Hanging out.
Pastor Cavassier.
Pastor Cavassier. Yo, that's an ill-ass fucking rap.
You had another alcohol bottle joke. Remember the one in the back seat?
What was that?
Something rolling around. You were like, oh, it was just like that. Perfect pun.
I don't know. Well,
We'll revisit that.
next week.
Yeah,
We'll
next week.
revisit that. Shout out to Jay-Z, though. He was actually just at the Meadows, forgot what, Meadows Festival.
Meadow
or something.
Soprano?
No. And he turned down. So basically, he like dedicated a song to Colin Kaepernick, and then the NFL approached him to do the halftime show for the 2018 Super Bowl, and he turned it down because he's boycotting the NFL and he's standing with Colin Kaepernick. So hats off to him, and that's like that actually is something that's very commendable. And somebody of Jay-Z's, you know, celebrity and his stature to really make a stance like that publicly, and stand, you know, with what he believes in is fucking right by me, man. That's
good
really
call.
dope.
Yeah.
So it's good. But
It was a bottle of Voss. You
Oh, it
said
was-
Cavassier.
Damn, another Cavassier pun.
Cavassier.
Alright.
That's like 4 times, two to 4 times we've dropped that now, so they're not paying our bills. So we'll just go ahead and
That's it.
toss that to the side.
We do
lady
like the brown
man.
stuff here at Kickback.
We do like the brown stuff.
Steve's just swirling it in his glass, and there you
Cheers, buddy. It rhymes with Bennessee. It rhymes with Tennessee. Why didn't I think?
Yeah, there you go,
Jesus
Tennessee.
go.
Christ.
It rhymes with Schmersmenesy.
Schmeneshy. Producer Jack is giving me the 5-minute warning. Last thing I wanted to touch on, and this isn't even really a full topic, but I wanted to bring attention to it. For those of you listening or watching that would like to participate in this, we don't have anything to do with this, but I do think it is for a great cause. StockX is raising money for Hurricanes Harvey and Hurricane Irma while giving away kicks handpicked by different celebrities. So every $10 donation grants you 1 entry for a chance to win a pair of sneakers that have been picked by, there's Eminem 4s, there's Yeezys, there's all
heat.
kind of,
Yeah.
it really is heat. Like
Yeah.
you get a chance to win these, but more importantly, you are donating to a great cause. I don't know exactly how much. I didn't get a chance to look at the exact details.
It's so far it ain't shit.
Well,
it was at
there's-
15 grand?
This morning it was at like 15 grand. I
15.
don't,
That ain't shit.
Right. Well, it's just starting today.
it just started.
Okay, yeah, but we were saying like so far, it
Well,
is
that was this
barely the
morning.
value of one
It's
of the
at
shoes.
27,000 now. So
All
this,
right, well, now it's
so-
almost worth what the 1 pair of Carhartts is. It's gonna get there. How long does this go on
it's
for?
going until September 25th.
Oh, great! So it'll get up good numbers.
It's going to a good cause, man.
No, I know it is, but I was looking at it, I was like,
$15,000.
how are people
This
not?
is
How are people
fantastic.
not doing this right now?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that's why I want to bring
But I
awareness
didn't realize
to
that
it.
it was
Like,
just today.
Yeah,
it
it just started today, and it's going until September 25th, which I believe is this coming Monday. So if you can, even if you don't want to participate in this this chance to win, quote unquote, but you are donating to a good cause because the people that have been affected by those hurricanes do need your help. So you can go to StockX.com. I think it's StockX.com/hurricane, and you'll be able to donate. You can select the shoe that you want to win. There's off-white ones. There's friends and family NMDHUs from Pharrell, all kind of shit. And you can check your email to confirm your entry. Winners will be notified by September 26th at 5 p.m. EDT. Everyone can donate, but only U.S. residents 18 and older can win, and they have the official rules on their site, blah, blah, blah. But again, this does go to a great cause. So if you can spare the $10, please, sign up and help out the people that are in need, because these hurricanes are still coming in. Mexico City was just affected by a gnarly earthquake earlier today. These natural disasters are no joke. We felt a 3.1 earthquake here in Los Angeles last night. So it's, people need your help, and any little bit helps, any little bit counts. So
I'm sorry I was
Just
shitting on this. I totally
Yeah,
did.
he didn't mean to.
I,
No,
no,
yeah,
no,
you
no,
didn't-
no,
yeah.
no, and not just for that, but also I really didn't understand how it was working. I
Yeah.
thought those were people bidding like an eBay auction on each one of
No,
those
right.
shoes.
No, it's
Right,
like
no.
each celebrity
And
donated
I was
a
like-
pair, and then this is
Yeah.
fantastic.
So the
Yeah,
way they
this is
did,
awesome.
they just
Yeah.
each celebrity picked a pair to donate, and you can basically you put your money towards the shoe you would want to win, and every $10 gets you a raffle ticket or
Yeah, that's
however
awesome.
they're
That's
doing
gonna
their
do
entry.
great.
So you're not actually putting any money towards these shoes. The money is being donated towards the hurricane relief funds.
That's
but
gonna
it's
do
a cool
tremendous.
way to actually
I hope
Yeah.
bring awareness to this, and also it gets
Ski.
people excited for something.
Hey,
to
shout
do.
out to our guy DJ Ski,
DJ
Yeah.
Ski,
the
the
founder of
Minnesota
Dash
Viking.
Radio.
Yeah, shout out. Hey, good plug. Dash
There we
Radio.
go.
We fucks with y'all. So yeah, if not for nothing, do it for Ski. Do it for Dash.
Do it for Dash.
But I just wanted to end it on that, man. This is it's a good cause, and they're
Yeah,
leaving
awesome.
their footprint, and what more could you ask for? Like,
Hats off to StockX.
you really, straight up, StockX, you are doing a great deed, and there needs to be more awareness around this, because again, these people need your help, and there are more hurricanes on the way, so who knows what other type of, you know.
And the video didn't have Gruber in it, so it was really good.
Who, Gruber?
Yeah.
Hey, I got nothing to say. We're gonna end it on a good note.
That picture of Russell Wilson looks like Fez.
All right, so
All right, guys. This has been episode 16 of the Kickback. Again, if you're only listening on Dash Radio, you will be able to find the visual components of this on snkrINC.com. That's snkrINC.com. For John Colombo, for Dano, I'm your boy Steezus, and we will see you and speak to you again next week. Peace out.
see you at another time.